Okay. I will take the same time. Okay. I am delighted to participate in the 9th Graduation Day celebration of the Thiruvalluvar College of Engineering and Technology, which is affiliated with the Anna University, Chennai, one of the premier technical institutes in India. I congratulate Professor Dr. S. Arunachalam, the founder principal, for his untiring efforts for more than 2 decades since starting this college in 1998. As per the vision of Professor Dr. S. Arunachalam, the reason for him founded this college in this most backward area could have been none other than extending educational support to the rural youth of Tamil Nadu and other states. I am being told that this place was once upon a time adored by a great Tamil saint poet Thiruvalluvar. இடும்பைக்கு இடும்பை படுப்பர், இடும்பைக்கு இடும்பை படாதவர். அதாவது டாக்டர் கலாம் அவர்கள் சொல்வார்கள், 4 விஷயங்கள் ஒரு மாணவர்களுக்கு முக்கியம். மாணவர்கள் வாழ்விலே ஒரு லட்சியம் வேண்டும். அந்த லட்சியத்தை அடைவதற்கு 4 விஷயங்கள் வேண்டும் என்று. முதலாவதாக மிக பெரும் லட்சியம் வேண்டும். சிறு லட்சியம் குற்றமாகும். என்னது சிறு லட்சியம்? சொல்லுங்க. குற்றமாகும். லட்சியத்தை அடைய அறிவை தேடி தேடி அடைய வேண்டும். அறிவை தேடி தேடி அடைய வேண்டும். மூன்றாவது ஸ்வெட், ஹார்ட் ஒர்க். 4வது விடாமுயற்சி. அங்கதான் சொல்வார், இடும்பைக்கு இடும்பை படுப்பர், இடும்பைக்கு இடும்பை படாதவர் என்று. அதாவது தோல்வி மனப்பான்மைக்கு தோல்வி கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று சொல்வார்கள். ஸோ அப்படிப்பட்ட திருவள்ளுவர் இங்கு வந்து உலகத்திற்கே ஒரு பொதுமறையை தந்த திருவள்ளுவர் இங்கு வந்து இருந்தார் என்ற ஒரு சரித்திர சான்றோடு அதற்காக அவரது பெயரை வைத்து இந்த கல்லூரி ஆரம்பிக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. எனவே இது ஒரு பெருமையுடைய உங்கள் கல்லூரியுடைய நேமே ஒரு பெருமையுடைய நேம். Hence, in defense to the name of Thiruvalluvar, Dr. Arunachalam has named this college Thiruvalluvar College of Engineering and Technology. I have to appreciate him for his noble gesture on the great poet. Anyone who enters into this college for the first time will naturally have the feeling that this college is enveloped in an ambience comprising the beauty of sylvan nature and architectural marvel. Thiruvalluvar College is more than just an educational institution, since it is highly conducive for profound study and rumination. In this secluded area, devoid of modern amenities but existing far from the madding crowd of the city life, this college offers 8 undergraduate courses and 6 postgraduate courses. It is a great credit to the management and the faculty members. My greetings to the faculty members and the professors and the staffs. I have come to know that Thiruvalluvar College of Engineering Technology has crossed many milestones in its pilgrimage to progress and service to backward society by admitting students who hail from the lowest rung of the ladder of economic standard. The increase in the number of students every academic year over the years is phenomenal. But this has been efficiently managed by down-to-earth management of the institution that copes with the needs and demands of the students admirably. Thiruvalluvar College of Engineering and Technology has special concern for less fortunate, poor students from rural areas for educating them through sponsorship from management funds. The low fee structure fixed by the rural retired judge is accepted even for many students who get admission under management quota seats. It shows the philanthropic spirit of the management. I congratulate Professor Arunachalam for this noble gesture. Engineering students in South India, particularly in Tamil Nadu, have many choice of colleges, courses and programs of learning. In this environment, it is the duty of the professional colleges and universities to provide opportunities for research and development. With this in view, I hope that this college conducted an international conference in the month of January 2012 on futuristic trends in various engineering fields. I am sure certainly this conference might have paved the way for the young students and faculty members of various engineering colleges and universities to think innovatively and to do research in their fields by appropriate application of knowledge. The conducting of this international conference is an important milestone in the history of Thiruvalluvar College of Engineering and Technology. Another important noteworthy sight I see in this college is that it preserves the environment by planting large number of trees. Wherever I see, I find trees and plants. It is inevitable that we must always be conscious that we are part of the environment. I am happy to know that the college has already received lakhs of rupees from the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India under the Grants in Aid for Greening India scheme for planting of trees in the villages and vacant lands around the college. In protecting our environment, let us recall Gandhiji's wise words that nature has given us enough for everyone's need, but not for anyone's greed. I appreciate Professor Arunachalam for taking this special interest in this noble cause. Friends, today you are all graduating from engineering and technology education from TCET, Vandavasi, and entering into your career growth path. Hence, dear friends, I would like to talk on the topic convergence of technologies for sustainable development of the nation. Sustainable development refers to a mode of human development in which resource use aims to meet human needs while preserving the environment so that these needs can be met not only in the present but also for the generation to come. Friends, while we have so far seen the development, rapid development and social development, economic development and political development, but due to the dwindling of resources, natural resources, and burgeoning population leading to more than 7 billion in the world, today it is essential to think of sustainable development in every aspect of human life, in every sectors of the economy. There are many national initiatives at the ground level with the help of technologies to protect the environment and bring sustainable development, sustainability for safe drinking water, water for irrigation, reducing the pollution using technology and best practices, adopting more renewable energy resources to reduce the dependency on the fossil fuel, managing the mobile resources so that it does not affect the environment and lead to further deterioration of health and environment and enrich the biodiversity, thereby bring peace and economic prosperity to the nation. You should be aware what kind of the challenges that you are all going to face in your professional career, particularly when the nation is going through the path of development to become the developed India before 2020 as envisioned by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Let me give the visualization of Dr. Kalam on how the developed India 2020 may look like. These are the 10 pillars of the nation. When you enter into, after the graduation, when you enter into the career path, what kind of the challenges that you are going to face? Can you all repeat with me what I am going to say? 10 pillars of the nation. Can you all repeat? You had a good tea in the evening? எல்லாம் திருப்பி சொல்றீங்களா? சொல்றீங்களா? இந்த சவுண்ட் காணுமே. Distinctive profile of the nation. A nation where the rural and urban divide is reduced to a thin line. A nation where there is an equitable distribution and adequate access to energy and quality water. A nation where agriculture, industry and service sector work together in symphony. A nation where education with value system is not denied to any meritorious candidates because of societal or economic discrimination. A nation which is the best destination for the most talented scholars, scientists and investors. A nation where the best of healthcare is available to all. A nation where the governance is responsive, transparent and corruption free. A nation where poverty has been totally eradicated, illiteracy removed, and crimes against women and children are absent, and none in the society feels alienated. A nation that is prosperous, healthy, secure, devoid of terrorism, peaceful and happy place to live. A nation that is one of the best places to live in and is proud of its leadership. So இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு 10 இதுதான் விஷன் 2020. இந்த விஷன் 2020 தான் டெவலப்ட் இந்தியா 2020ல இந்தியா இப்படிப்பட்ட இந்தியாவை உருவாக்குவதுதான் உங்களது பணியாக இருக்க வேண்டும். செய்வீர்களா? ஓகே. நாங்க டாக்டர் கலாம் ஃபின்லாண்டுக்கு விசிட் பண்ணார். அப்ப we had a discussion with the Finland Prime Minister. அப்ப Finland it was dependent on Russian economy when the USSR economy. When the USSR was collapsed, Finland also collapsed. So Prime Minister இந்த எக்கானமி எப்படி பூஸ்ட் பண்றது, இதுக்கு என்ன நடவடிக்கை எடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு உடனே he called for a discussion with all the ministers, with all the industrialists and all the educationalists and the academicians. எல்லாரையும் கூப்பிட்டு he had a discussion. அப்ப அவர் சொன்னார், நம்ம ரஷ்யா யூஎஸ்எஸ்ஆர் கொலாப்ஸ் ஆனதுனால நம்மளுடைய எக்ஸ்போர்ட் மார்க்கெட் எல்லாம் போயிருச்சு. இப்போ எந்த ஒரு ப்ராடக்டை வச்சு இந்த ஃபின்லாண்ட் எக்கானமியை தூக்கி நிறுத்துறது அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணும்போதும் எல்லாரும் ஒரு ஐடியா சொன்னாங்க. ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் போச்சு, ஒரு வாரம் போச்சு, 2 வாரம் போச்சு. எதுலேயுமே பிரைம் மினிஸ்டருக்கு ஒரு திருப்தி வரல. கடைசியில் ஒரு கம்பெனி, இட் வாஸ் அ ஷூ மேக்கிங் கம்பெனி, அவங்க ஷூ பண்ணுவாங்க, டிவி பண்ணுவாங்க, இத்தனையோ பண்ணிட்டு இருந்திருக்காங்க. அவங்க அங்கே ஒரு லேபில் ஒரு இன்ஜினியரிங் காலேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஒரு 4 பேர் ஒரு டெக்னாலஜியில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்திருக்காங்க. அந்த 4 பேர் சார் இதை வேணா ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணலாமான்னு கேட்டிருக்காங்க. சரி ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணி தான் பார்ப்போமே அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அவங்க ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணி அவங்க பிரைம் மினிஸ்டருக்கு ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. அதை பார்த்த உடனே அவருக்கு இதுதான் ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி, ஃபியூச்சரிஸ்டிக் டெக்னாலஜி, இது வேர்ல்டவே ஆட்டி படைக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு டெக்னாலஜி, இந்த டெக்னாலஜிக்காக ஃபின்லாண்டு கண்டிப்பாக ஃபண்ட் பண்ணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அவங்க ஃபண்ட் பண்ணி அந்த டெக்னாலஜி உலகம் முழுவதும் சென்றடைந்து அதன் மூலமாக இன்றைக்கு ஃபின்லாண்டோட என்டையர் ஜிடிபியே 6% ஆஃப் த ஜிடிபி comes from this one technology, single technology, that is nothing but a Nokia. Whatever the cell phone what you have, Nokia technology, இது ஒரு சிங்கிள் டெக்னாலஜி. எங்க இருந்து போச்சு அது? It is emanated from the engineering college students. எங்க இருந்து? ஸோ அந்த டெக்னாலஜிக்கு வீடியோ ஆடியோ மொபைல் டிவைசஸ்ல எப்படி இன்டகிரேட் பண்ற டெக்னாலஜியை கொடுத்தவர் தான் இந்த சங்கர். இங்க உட்கார்ந்துருக்காருல சங்கர். அவர் என்னுடைய ஃப்ரெண்டு. நான் மதுரை காமராஜ் யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கப்ப he has created a company called Nexus Computers. அப்போ தெரியும். சடனாக இங்கே வந்த பிறகு தான் தெரியும் அவரும் வந்திருக்காரு அப்படின்ட்டு. ஐ எம் வெரி ஹாப்பி to have you as a guest of honor in this 9th graduation day. Dear friends, engineering education leading to developed India. எப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு engineering education இந்த developed இந்தியாவுக்கு தேவை என்பதை பற்றி எண்ணும் பொழுது, as I was fortunate to work as a scientist GE in Aeronautical Development Agency in Ministry of Defense, and I was fortunate to work with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam for more than a decade in various missions such as Vision 2020, Pura mission, Energy Independent mission and other missions. With this background, let me share with you some of my thoughts and suggestions for the task ahead of engineering institutions. The institution have to have a research environment to generate innovation and creativity among the students. The teachers, libraries and the administration have to work together in creating autonomous learners. You should be autonomous learners. Products, systems and missions come out of interaction of multiple disciplines of not only engineering but also of other professions such as medicine and rural development. The projects undertaken by the institution have to reflect some of the important needs of the country and the world, such as need to improve agriculture GDP, rural quality, energy independence, neighborhood and quality improvement. Each institution has to generate a feedback mechanism to the schools and colleges of their inputs from different parts of the country, so that the experience of engineering institution can result in better shaping at the schools and colleges for their own benefit. Continuous education of the teachers is very essential, and their exposure to some premier institution in the country and abroad has to be viewed as a long-term investment. Periodical interaction with the alumni and the evaluation of the institutional facilities on continuous basis for improvement would go a long way in maintaining world-class standard. And each institution has to become unique institution by bringing out the students who will work with integrity and succeed with integrity. The faculty, administrators and the staff of institution have to remain role models in this respect. Every engineering college, you note this point, maybe the management also should consider, every engineering college should identify their core competence in at least one area where convergence of multiple technologies may be involved, and have a mission to design, develop and manufacture a product and system to meet the challenges of the nation. It may be in water, it may be in civil engineering, it may be in energy, or it may be in ICT, or it may be in healthcare, or it may be in mobile technologies. Faculty are the pillars and the students are the regular creative input for this mission. Dear friends, the information and communication technology have already converged, leading to information and communication technology. Information technology combined with biotechnology has led to bioinformatics. Similarly, photonics is grown out of the labs to converge with the classical electronics and microelectronics to bring a new high-speed options in consumer products. Flexible and unbreakable displays using thin layer of film on transparent polymers have emerged as a new symbols of entertainment and media tools. Now nanotechnology has come in. It is a field of the future that will replace microelectronics and many fields with tremendous application potential in the areas of medicine, electronics and material science. I am sure about the use of nanorobot for drug delivery. When nanotechnology and ICT meet, integrated silicon electronics and photonics are born, and it can be said that material convergence will happen. With the material convergence and biotechnology linked, a new science called intelligent bioscience will be born, which would lead to a disease-free, happy and more intelligent human habitat with longevity and high human capabilities. Convergence of bio, nano, info technologies can lead to the development of nanorobots. Nanorobots, when they are injected into the patient, my expert friends say it will diagnose and deliver the treatment exclusively in the affected area, and then the nanorobot gets digested as it's a DNA-based product, which we witnessed in Seoul in South Korea when we visited Seoul. I saw the product sample in one of its labs in South Korea, where the best of the minds with the multiple technology work with a target of finding out of the box solution. Now a new trend is emerging. The aspect of being introduced is that of ecology. Globally, the demand is shifting towards development of sustainable systems which are technologically superior. This is a new dimension of 21st century knowledge society where science, technology and environment will have to go together. Thus, the new age model would be a four-dimensional bio, nano, info and eco based. Today, due to the convergence of technologies such as bio, nano, info, eco technologies, resulting into clean, green environment leads to multiple products and systems in water, energy, environment, pollution, waste and biodiversity and healthcare. For example, solar technology has given the first 700 megawatt solar park in Gujarat. Nanofilter technology has given the safe drinking water solution. Nano packaging and eco technologies has given the biodegradable packaging solution. Research and development is certainly progressing using convergence of technologies which will give the clean and green products to the humanity. Now, how to ensure that these technologies reach the outreached, unreached using the information communication technologies and evolving a societal business model. Since you have engineering as well as the management discipline, students from the engineering and management discipline should think how to evolve a societal business model. At one side, technology-based system development resulted out of scientific research, and the other side, evolving an innovative business model which will take the technologies to the users for creating sustainable development systems. Socio-economic applications from the unique societal business model which will empower and enrich the users such as farmers, fishermen, skilled workers, people living in the rural areas. When the sustainable development social business model is applied, that will result in the use of available natural resources optimally, recycle it without polluting the environment, and at the same time make it available for the generation to come so that global peace and prosperity is assured. Ultimately, the research results will have to benefit the people without pollution-free environment, green environment, safe drinking water, and also water resource management. Zero waste discharge systems will not pollute the environment using technologies which will reduce the carbon footprint. Use of renewable energy sources for achieving energy independence. use of navigational resource mapping to maximize the use of mobile resources such as river flow for optimal utilization of water and ultimately improve the biodiversity by enriching the environment, which is congenial for its growth to manage the life cycle balance. The sustainable technologies have to help to improve the quality living conditions of the people using the existing natural resources sustainably for the generation to come without any depletion of its resources, using clean and green technologies. Then it is possible the sustainable development has reached the bottom of the pyramid. Dear students, as Dr. Kalam used to say, he has seen 3 dreams which has taken shape as a vision, mission and realization. He has seen space program of Indian Research Space Organization, Agni program of DRDO, and Pura providing urban amenities in rural areas, becoming the national mission. From these 3 missions, he used to say, what did he learn? He learned a creative leadership. How a leader should be. A leader should be a creative leader. Tomorrow you are going to manage, you are going to become the creative leader. What are the qualities and characteristics of the creative leader? Let me explain. A leader must have a vision. A leader must have a vision. Leader must have a passion to transform the vision into mission. And leader must be able to travel into an unexplored path. Leader must be able to travel into an unexplored path. And leader must know how to manage a success and failure. And leader must have a courage to take a decision. And leader should have a nobility in management. And every action of the leader should be transparent. And last, leader must work with integrity and succeed with integrity. If you have all these 7 qualities, then you will be not only a leader, you will be a creative leader. For success in all the missions, it is essential to have a creative leadership. Creative leadership means exercising the vision to change the traditional role from the manager, commander to coach, manager to mentor, from the director to delegator, from the one who demands respect to one who facilitates self-respect. For a vibrant nation, the important thrust will be on inculcating the traits of leadership among the youth. I am sure Thiruvalluvar College of Engineering and Technology Educational Environment will develop these vital characteristics among the students. Dear friends, நீங்கள் அனைவருமே தனித்துவமானவர்கள். ஒவ்வொருவருக்கும் ஒரு தனித்துவம் உண்டு. நீங்கள் தனித்துவமானவர்கள் என்று உணர்ந்த அடுத்த வினாடி இந்த வரலாற்றிலே உங்களுக்காக ஒரு பக்கம் ஒதுக்கப்பட்டு விட்டது. அந்த பக்கத்தை பின்வரும் சந்ததி திரும்ப திரும்ப படிக்க வைப்பது உங்களது கைகளிலே இருக்கிறது. அதுதான் சொல்வார்கள், உன்னை எறிந்தால் நீ உன்னை எறிந்தால் உலகத்தில் போராடலாம் என்று, உயர்ந்தாலும் தாழ்ந்தாலும் தலை வணங்காமல் நீ வாழலாம் என்று சொல்வார்கள். அப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு வாழ்க்கை உங்களுக்கு அமைய வேண்டுமானால் நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் இன்றைக்கு ஒரு கேள்விக்கு பதில் சொல்ல வேண்டும். வாட் ஐ வில் பி ரிமெம்பர்டு ஃபார். நீங்க எழுதி வச்சுக்கோங்க, யூ ரைட் இட். வாட் ஐ வில் பி ரிமெம்பர்டு ஃபார். அந்த கேள்விக்கு பதில் ஒரு பக்கமாகவும் இருக்கலாம், 2 பக்கமாகவும் இருக்கலாம். எப்பொழுதும் அந்த கேள்விக்கு பதில் ஒரு லைன் மெசேஜ் உங்களால் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியுமோ அன்றைக்கு நீங்கள் இந்த வரலாற்றிலே ஒரு பக்கத்தை எழுதுவதற்கு தயாராகி விட்டீர்கள் என்ற அர்த்தம். அந்த பக்கம் உங்களால் எழுதப்பட உங்களுக்கு கடவுள் ஆசையை தர வேண்டி உங்களை வாழ்த்தி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.